So you want to make a fantasy map in Paint.net. So you came to the right place. There's a few steps you want to do. First, you want to get Paint.net. And you just go ahead and find a YouTube video on how to do Paint.net. It'll show you. And now I will go ahead and get the map. I like to do 2,000 size and 1,000 in length. To get it make or not whatever. But well, but after you get your 2,000, 1,000, oops, that was an accident. Did not mean to do that. Well, let me just get the actual correct size. Well, when you get your 2,000 times 1,000 campus, you'll be able to begin. This is what you should not do. You shouldn't make a straight line. So I will not do this. These are what these do. This moves the map. And Fire moves the map. This draws your line. This draws the line. This makes the line skinnier. But we just move this back where it was. We go ahead and move that back where it was. And this I will just put over there. Good. And now we can begin on making this fantasy map. So, wasn't put there. I'll put making this continent here, and this was like the main big continent area. This continent will pretty large, but not too large. Hear me? Sorry about that, guys. But we will keep going up this fantasy map for you to have fun with. And I'm gonna add a few opponents right there. I can never say it correctly. And we will go. Eventually, this will be but eventually we will go ahead and finish this fantasy map. And now we will go ahead and add a continent down here. This will be like a river, and this will be more the south continent, and we just eventually this. I don't like how that looked, so I'm just gonna go ahead and reset it. I'm sorry, go ahead and reset that, because I don't like how that one area looks. So we will go ahead and go. And this will be something like this. Something like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and add a few islands here. No. Islands will always put something together. Try to not make the islands too similar together, because that might be a little too. Don't try to not make the islands too similar looking, because that's gonna be confusing. And just add another quarter. We'll also add another cluster of islands here. A little small one right there. An island right here. Looks like it has something to do with that continent. But eventually I will see like a continent over here. So there will be like a continent right here. But not every continent has to be an island. So you can make your own continent, like island. Well, because Greenland is not a continent. That's an island. And this will be a continent though, but Going on is not fine in our world. Anyway. Anyway, I'm gonna make this. You guys can do what you want. This is all up to you. You can make your own fantasy maps how you like to make it. Cause nobody's gonna tell you what you want to do. Nobody's gonna come in your room and say, do that, do that, do that. Do what you want to do. Don't let nobody tell you what they want you to do. Do what you want to do. Oh, it's just your parents. You have to listen. But I've been making fantasy maps for a very long time, though. So I kind of know how to make a fantasy map. It's not really that hard to make a fantasy map. I find making fantasy maps pretty relaxing. But we will add a few islands into the middle of this ocean, and a few dots for small islands. And we'll add another island here, that I don't like how this area looked at. And we'll add a few more islands. Right here, we'll add a few islands in an island chain. Yay! But this will be the first island chain, and we'll add a few small islands to make it better. Make it pop. You guys want to, you guys can copy me. I do not care what yours do. But do whatever you want with this, I really don't care. But now we'll be adding lakes. This will be like one of the larger lakes. The larger lakes. With a small island in the middle of the lake. And there'll be two small lakes down here. Some continents might not have lakes. And what? This will also have a pretty large lake. And this will, what do you want? And this will be a small island, or two small islands. Kind of looks like a face. And we'll go ahead and add a small lake right here. And this should be a normal lake. But after that is done, you will go ahead and add the rivers. And rivers is kind of... Oops, my bad. Oops, did not mean to do that. Alright, that's better. But we will go ahead and fill in these lakes. But this is my favorite color to use for water. And now we will go ahead and add rivers. Oops, no, do that. If you didn't see that. And now we will go ahead and add rivers to this. The rivers never do a straight line for your rivers. Always make the rivers curve around and curve. But you can honestly do what you want just to step. Oops, did not mean to do that. But you can just do whatever you want with this step. You can make a Mickey Mouse river if you wanted to. I don't even care. You wanted to? You can make a full-on Mickey Mouse river. I do not care what you do with this. So, I'll add a few rivers here. But I do get these ideas from my head. You feel it. And then, what it will be. And try to... And we'll add a few rivers over here, and this river plus. But then we'll add a few more rivers here. And eventually we'll add a split river, a third one. And we'll add a few rivers on those. I will also add a few rivers on those islands up north. Other islands are these small rivers. Yes, they are very close to the north. And we'll also add a few rivers out here. There's like a little, there should be like a rivers up north, but it won't be too many rivers out here because this is pretty close to the northern areas of the world. You can do whatever you want with it. You can even make it a fantasy map, a world map. But bye!